Hi, this is Carol from SkillCheck. Today I'd like to talk about selling on site with limited staff because it seems like more often now we are finding ourselves not having enough people in the office. So, what do you do? Well, first off, I think you should absolutely have all of your information on the front door, on the gate, on the entry gate and the exit gate, everywhere you can put it, because it's important for customers to know when you're open. I will say also, because at Skill Check here, we do the mystery shopping not only on the phone, but we do it on site. And you'd be surprised how often we send a shopper out and the shopper says, well, it says they're open, but no one's there. Or it has a little sign say, be back in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then they wait that long or longer and nothing's there. And I will tell you that my son went to one, he was doing one in Phoenix area. And it was interesting because he said, hey, mom, there's a real problem with the store. And he said, the manager, I went up there and there was a little thing said at lunch, be back at 2. And it had a little clock that you can move the little hands of it. So and he went and he sat in the car because he was going to wait 20 minutes to be able to get in there. And the manager walked out to the front and the door, and then she changed it and made it 20 minutes longer with the person. And she knew she saw him out there. And I was appalled. I was like, wow, a customer sitting out there in the car and in the heat in Phoenix, and you're letting them stay there. I just thought that was unbelievable. So if you have hours, you keep those hours. And you make sure your website has accurate information because you want to make sure that customers can, pay a bill, they can get all the information about that because a lot of times, there's nowhere else to look. It's not like there's a phone book anymore. So the only way they're getting you is from your website. And so you've got to have all the information on there, not just your prices, but you've got to have your hours, how to get there, information about your location, etc. So you want to be really good about getting information there and, letting them pay there too. The other thing is to think about the customers, how they get frustrated when there's no one at the property during the business hours. And if you have your business hours there, it says on this one, it is Saturday, but Sunday they're closed. But it does have, I love it has the other number, the 555 number that you can call for assistance. So if that's manager's phone number, I would assume, or a call center, and then that way they can get the manager back into the office or know where they are and how long they'll be before they are there. But if you, again, don't stay out too long and put your cell number on the front door. The other thing is manager accountability. I think it's so important in this job to be good at selling on the phone and in-person selling. It's just crucial. Whenever I go to hire, I'm looking for a salesperson. I'm looking for a person with a great personality, people that like other people, that like to have the gift of gab. Because you really want to make sure that what you're doing, as a manager, you're giving good service, you're being on time in the office in the open hours, you're following promptly up with leads, because that is really critical. And again, the quicker you complete the lead, the higher the probability is that you'll make the sale. But you cannot wait 3 days, or what we've seen even at Skill Check, we've seen up like to something like 13 days. They wait 13 days to send back an inquiry on a price. And that to me that's incompetence. For me, there's no other way. 13 days is ridiculous. 13 minutes is out. It was really out of the norm if you're looking for an aggressive sales situation. And if you've got a lot of competitors, you're in an aggressive area. So remember to give really good service and that great presentation and have amazing customer service. So the key to this, absolutely to start with, is that hire friendly, helpful staff, because you cannot change someone's personality. There's no way around that. So if they come into you, and I like to interview people first on the phone, because if they can't impress me on the phone, then there's no point in having them in the office. So, but again, the trend in self-storage is to automate everything. But if that's true, and if you have call center people, they have to be amazing. And that may work, in very rural areas, but not in urban areas. Again, think about that. So you want to have great service. The other thing is there's this trend to have absolutely no staff. And I know that really small properties can do that. But I think if you have a larger property and you have an active store, there is no point in trying to do this completely without anyone watching. To me, I'm from old school, I guess, but I do believe in managers. And I have had managers that I've taken over a property that was not doing very well. In fact, I used to do a lot with bankruptcy courts. The bankruptcy court would assign me to manage the store and turn it around. And one of the judge called me up and he said, "We are amazed at how fast you turn these people around. How do you do that?" And I said, "I get amazing managers." And he's like, "That's it?" I said, "Yeah, but they're not easy to find. But yes, that's the truth." So if you have a small storage property in a rural area, this may be perfectly fine. But boy, if you have a big property in a metropolitan area, get amazing manager. Uh, um, if you've got a new store that you are actually starting up, get good staff. Get 3 people. And I'm looking at, so if let's just, and that's I've had many more than that. I've had a storage in Northern California that we had 2,000 units, and I think we had 6 people there total. It was a lot. But again, for the number of people that were renting and that were there, we had some sweeping and doing all different kinds of things. And it really took a lot of people when you have 2,000 units. But when you think about how to be really good at selling, I want you to think about your salesmanship on site. And if we've got a lot of other webinars that we have a lot on YouTube. If you can go find us in all kinds of topics, because I don't know, we have like a couple, maybe, I know it's over 100 things that you can listen to. But if there's nothing else to do, stay and learn and enjoy it. And if you have any topics you'd like us to tackle, let us know, because we would love to pick up your topic, and we'll even give you a shout out that you gave us that lead. So thank you very much for listening, and happy renting.